Hello, it's Dana, and I am doing the hashtag GJO 12-day collab. I believe today is day 7. Don't quote me on that. I have to look when I upload. But what we've done, we did a few odd crafts, but then I decided to try and make a mini journal with you. When we made the cover, I showed you the measurements. This is 8¼ by 6¼ that is so that we can cut down these pages in half. So once you remove this, a perfect 12 by 12, you should be able to cut it in half and again in half, and each one of these be a 6 by 6. If it's easier, just use a 6 by 6 paper pad. So what I have done is I have went through, these are my scraps. I have went through and picked out some papers that I want to use. Now, I know I showed you some other signatures on my previous videos, but those are for other journals, and they match those covers, so I didn't really want to use those pages. So I just grabbed me another paper pad. These are the patterns I chose, and then I cut the wreath into 4 parts. This was part of the offcut off this. I thought I would just cut that down to a 6 by 6, that maybe I would use that. So once you pick your 4 papers, which I think we're going to go ahead and use that and maybe one of those. We should definitely use one of these and one of these. And so that's 4 pages right there. And in this paper pad, I wanted to show you, there is this tag page. And what you can do is you can cut these out 2 by 2 and fold them in half. So if you cut that out, it's not quite 6 by 6, but you can fold it in half and punch a hole in it. So that's what I've done. So I decided that I wanted to use this tag because it matched our cover, because we covered the cover in this this plaid. Okay, so I have decided these are the papers I want to use, and I think I want this to be my cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to score each of these at 3 inches. Okay, sorry about my grungy board. There's lots of stickiness up here. So 3 inches, and then 3 inches, and then 3 inches. So you get the idea. Okay, so there are going to be some things you want to do before you sew anything into your journal. And we talked about binding today, but I feel like that's going a little fast. I kind of want to cover some page prep stuff with you guys. Okay, so what do I want to do on the front? Well, I would like to make this into a pocket. Where's my other wreath page? I would like to make this into a pocket on the front. So this is not my wreath page, this is my offcut. But the first thing we'll need to do is cut a little half circle out of here with your 1-inch punch. I wouldn't make it bigger than 1 inch because this is such a small book. I would like to sew around my pages and find the correct page over here. I keep getting the wrong ones. I cut all these papers into 4s, so I kind of feel like alright, well, I'm going to pause this and go sew. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I talk about page prep, that you want to do things before you put them in the book, okay? So we could just sew these in and decorate them afterwards, but I really wanted to do some things first. I cut a half circle out here with my punch. I stitched around the edges of these pages. Now, remember that wherever you start and begin is wherever you start your thread is where you end your thread normally. But on this page, we weren't going to stitch over the top. Because of this cut, I would have had to punch through my stitching. So I have 2 different areas where the thread started and ended. On the back page, I started and ended it here, and I started and ended here on this top page. So I have only glued right this front page, because this is not going to be a pocket in the back. So when we sew that in the journal, you'll still be able to get your needle through there pretty easy. I just did some zigzag and straight stitches on here. And then on here, I threw in a little of those leaf stitches that I think look like Christmas lines. And I still have red thread. Okay, so is there anything else you want to do for page prep? Yes. If you want to stencil anything on here, you will need to do it now. So let's pick a stencil. I'm going to pause it. Okay. So I'm going to put this reindeer in here with coffee colored ink. The problem is how this lays out. So you want to do two things. One, you want to kind of find the midpoint of your stencil. So I'm going to say the high point of the deer's butt right there is kind of where this fold is at, right? Then you want to decide which way you want it to go. I like him going that way, actually. So when you go to stencil him, you are going to need to take your washi tape this page off, tape your stencil down, right? And try and line it up in the middle. Then stencil all of this. Then you're going to take, now make sure you're on the right page and that it is right side up. This has plaid on the back, so it's going to be okay. Now this side, however, this has snowflakes, so it's going to be okay too. So when you do this side, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to take some washi tape, lay this down, line it up about in the middle, and then take this page and just hold it up and compare to where you've taped down your stencil before you do the inking, just to kind of make sure that your body is aligned, or the deer body is aligned. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to pause this while I do it, because it's okay. I did a whole lot more than stenciling, but I thought I had restarted the video a little bit ago. So, I was able to line the deer up so that it pretty much is stenciled, you know, so when it's bound in the book, it'll look decent. And then I decided to do some stamping and embossing on the opposite page. So, I started out with, where's it at? I think it StazOn, or no, this is StazOn olive colored ink here, here, and here. Actually, I think this is Ranger Fern Green down here, maybe. And that's olive. Then I decided to use this Bo Bunny set of stamps to do a 25, and it's thrown me completely off because the 2 and the 5 are 2 different sizes, which really, really irks me. Thanks, Bo Bunny. What the heck? I guess that's why they're $2.99. So I got these a while back at Tuesday morning. Haven't used them. Thought it would be fun to put a 25 and emboss it in the corner of this, because I like the white. When the white faces the white, it's just endless possibilities. You can make anything on that page. And you can make such a pretty design on it with whatever stamps and inks and embossing and whatever you want. And then you can clip little things in or make little pockets or glue envelopes or whatever. So I took several tree stamps that I had, and I was going to do a deer too. I was going to cut and emboss a deer and make this little like scene with these. Unfortunately, this 25 really it's throwing me off. I don't like that it doesn't match up. Okay, so as you can see, I've had a lot going on since the cameras were paused, but I will tell you, before you bind into here, there's a lot of things that it's not going to be easy to do that kind of stamping or anything that's near this where it's sewn in. You're not going to be able to get it to lay very flat. You're not going to be able to, you could do some stamping, but you're never going to be able to get it to lay as flat as you can when it's not bound to do stenciling and stuff. So I wanted to give you some examples of what you can do for your page prep. Okay, so that is it for me. I would like you to continue prepping your pages however you would like. Also, try and find something else to tuck in there. I found this and cut it down. It's some piano roll that I had just kind of Mod Podged some napkins and tissue paper on, and I thought it would be fun maybe to stick this in here somewhere. Maybe there. Yeah. So, yeah. So we can do something on the back of this still. I'm thinking about maybe some song paper or some book pages. So, go ahead and do whatever you need to do on your pages. I also think that some kind of lace would look good along here. I don't know what. Or maybe along here. I feel like I want to put some sort of pretty trims on here. So you can glue them and sew them. And I suggest both. What I like to do is I like to put the Fabri-Tac back a little bit where the needle's not going to go through it, because I hear it can gum up your machine and cause issues. So if I use Fabri-Tac, I put the Fabri-Tac back a little bit, use a little bit wider lace, and then I'll sew along the edge. Sometimes I do not glue it, but I kind of feel like it's less secure that way. I don't know, especially if it's a lace with a lot of spaces in it. Okay, so that's where we're at. Let's flip through. Here on the front, we've got a pocket. And then we've got this homemade Mod Podge paper, the green plaid. We've got the deer we stenciled. Got this tag, and I'm thinking when we bind this, after we bind this in, we can actually glue this closed and make another pocket out of that. That might be fun. Something to think about. Or you could glue the top and make a pocket here in the side. That might be cool too. Either or, just leave it open and decorate it. It don't matter. Don't matter, no matter. You could put pockets inside of here too and leave it to where it can flip. Okay, and then back here we've got the uneven 25 and forest and green embossing on one of the trees. The other half of that piano player paper and napkin tissue Mod Podge combination. The part of that wreath I cut off with some stitching on it, and then a plain page with stitching. So again, this is going to be really fun to do whatever we want with. On the opposite end, we've made a pocket. So down here we can do something really fun on the back. So that's it for me. This is Dana, making a mess again. Don't forget to check out Grandma Joe's 12-day collaboration, which is under hashtag GJO 12-day collab. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.